If you had to live today again and again, every choice, every glance at your phone, every word you sent, every compromise you swallowed, would you consent to repeat it forever? That is the warrior's audit. Eternal recurrence isn't mysticism. It's the most demanding filter a man can hold to his hours. Act only in ways you could tolerate on infinite replay. If that sounds brutal, good. Brutal standards carve clean lives. This isn't about pretending pain doesn't exist. It's about ruling pain so it becomes structure instead of drift. You stop narrating, start commanding. You trade wishful thinking for policies you can enforce when you're tired, tempted, or alone. The day stops being a mood ring and becomes a pattern you respect. The point isn't to become cold. The point is to become governed. A governed man can be warm without being weak, romantic without being reckless, generous without being gullible. Under recurrence, you cannot afford sloppy escalations, vague plans, or drunken apologies. You cannot afford nights that steal mornings or texts that buy attention by selling self-respect. You build a day that runs under weather, and then you repeat it until it's your nature. Call it will, call it discipline, call it Amor Fati. Loving your fate so thoroughly that even the hard parts are welcomed because they make you exact. Frame your day like it will replay forever. If you had to relive this sequence tomorrow, wake, drift, doom scroll, apologies, would you nod or grimace? Nietzsche's recurrence is a filter that kills drift. You stop negotiating with mood and start obeying rails. Before messages, you wake at a fixed time, hit cold water or breath work, move iron or body weight, and write one sentence that directs your day. You're not waiting to feel like it. You are proving who commands. The first hour is a contract with every future you who has to live this again. Make morning your policy. Clothes staged, bag packed, first task on an index card, first message designed to coordinate, not to harvest attention. When the alarm rings, you report for duty because you already decided last night. Under recurrence, small negligence becomes massive regret. Snooze once and you vote to relive fog. Lift first and you vote to relive clarity. Treat these votes like sacraments. The ballot is your calendar. Carry this stance into dating. Every text is a precedent. Every plan a rehearsal. Every escalation a vow in training. If you'd be ashamed to watch it forever, don't send it once. Replace flirt spamming with clean logistics. Coffee at 6, 45 minutes. Near your work, cap the first meet. Move from screen to street quickly or end cleanly. You're not cynical, you're structured. Structure is respect in motion. Guard 3 rails no matter the weather. A start time you obey, a training minimum you hit, and a creation block that ships something visible. When life hits hard, shrink the reps, but don't delete them. 10 push-ups, 2 paragraphs, a brisk walk. Fidelity over heroics. Fidelity becomes identity. Identity survives storms. When identity is steady, you can state a boundary without heat, leave without theater, and offer warmth without bribes. You will slip. Nietzsche isn't asking for perfection. He's asking for consent. If you couldn't bear to relive a mistake, repair fast. Miss the start. Move the phone out of the bedroom tonight. Miss training. 10 slow squats and a plank before bed. Miss a boundary. Write the exit sentence now and deploy it next time. The warrior's virtue is return. Return becomes rhythm. Rhythm becomes law. Law becomes peace. Say it out loud before you open the door. I act only in ways I'd accept on loop. Then live it for 12 hours and audit at night. If you'd refuse this day, edit tomorrow now. Pain is data. Under a day that might repeat, any pain that returns is a design flaw begging for a fix. Start with the urges that own you. the impulse to double text when she pauses, the reflex to scroll at midnight, the drink that steals tomorrow's start. Turn each into a drill you could teach a younger brother. When the itch to chase hits, you stand up, breathe low for 60 seconds, drink water, do 10 slow push-ups, and return to work. Do it 10 times and your nervous system learns a new doorway. You're not repressing desire, you're training onset and delay. That training is freedom you can repeat. Guards sleep like a temple. Phones sleep outside the room. Screens off an hour before lights. Caffeine obeys a clock. Alcohol has a policy, not a mood. If you need a season without it, take the season. If pornography has dissolved your patience for human tempo, remove it completely. This is not moral theatre. It's maintenance of a loop you may have to live forever. A clean loop demands fewer apologies. Schedule honesty. Confusion loves foggy calendars. If a pattern with her puzzles you, ask once, clearly, are we on the same pace? If the answer is fog, downshift investment. No litigation, no sermons. Under recurrence, you cannot afford hours spent arguing with reality. Adjust the dial and return to your rails. Translate guilt into standards. Write 3 actions you regret, 3 strengths you ignored, 3 signs you missed. For each, draft 1 rule you can enforce alone. I do not escalate intimacy before cadence is stable. I replace endless chat with a quick call. If plans slip twice without a heads up, I close the tab kindly. These aren't threats, they're promises to yourself. A good woman will feel safer, not policed. A misaligned woman will leave early. Both outcomes improve the loop. Build a recovery protocol before you need one. If you're ghosted, you grieve at a set hour, block for a season, double your training minimum, add a creation hour, call a brother, and sleep. You do not stalk a feed. You do not negotiate with a closed door. If you failed, repair once with specifics, accept the outcome, and weld the lesson into tomorrow's rule. Friedrich Nietzsche's challenge is merciful here. Don't demand a different past, demand a different pattern. Finally, write Payne's job description. Your role is signal, not script. When the wave rises, you greet it, do the drill, and return to rails. If you need help to hold the line, put the drill on paper and tape it to your desk. You don't need more options. You need a standard you will honor under heat. Eternal recurrence makes it non-negotiable. Every choice with women becomes a brick in the day you might live forever. Choose bricks that hold a house. Define what you can actually observe. Reliability, reciprocity, repair, kindness under inconvenience. Reliability means words become plans. Reciprocity means effort meets effort. Repair means when something slips, you both fix it without courtroom theatre. Kindness under inconvenience means tone stays steady when the day is ugly. If those show up, invest. If they don't, lower access without venom. Policy, not punishment. Make pace a law. Move from app to a 10-minute call to a short coffee inside a week. Cap first meets at an hour and end while energy is high. Don't text through midnight. Don't escalate intimacy until cadence is stable across ordinary Tuesdays. Don't audition with gifts. Lead with presence, punctuality, and clean plans. The right person exhales at your structure. The wrong person craves chaos and calls it passion. Thank both for the clarity and continue your day. Speak cleanly. I like daily check-ins. I prefer quick calls to long chats. If plans slip, a heads up is enough. If respect breaks, I leave kindly and finally. These sentences aren't ultimatums. They're invitations adults recognize. Nietzsche's test applies here. Act only in ways you could accept on loop. That rules out performative flattery, desperate chasing, and half-truths designed to keep doors open you don't intend to walk through. Refuse to harvest attention to sedate loneliness. Close threads you won't pursue. Block the ones that bait you into versions of yourself you've outgrown. Romance built on inconsistency collapses on schedule. Build something else. When a person fits, choose. End the other threads. Delete the apps. Commitment isn't the death of options. It's the birth of depth. The loop gets quieter and more respectable. Stress test early and plainly. Watch how both of you handle small frictions. Running late, changed venues, mixed signals. Do you state needs without heat? Do they adjust without scorekeeping? One clean repair is worth 10 perfect first dates because it previews the marriage of ordinary days. If repair never comes, you don't punish, you release. Under recurrence, arguing with reality is an expensive hobby. Exit with one sentence you could read to her family without flinching, then return to your rails. Standards turn dating from spectacle into self-governance. You cannot lead in love from a life you don't respect. Nietzsche's eternal recurrence demands a day that stands on its own legs, work that ships and iron that moves. Whether anyone texts you back or not, make competence and strength the center of gravity. Competence is what your reputation says when you're not in the room. Strength is the posture your body keeps under stress. Build both daily. Set a training minimum you can hit under any weather. A carry, a push, a pull, a hinge, a sprint, a stretch. Even sick, even sad, even slammed, you touch the floor. 10 minutes done beats 90 fantasized. Training isn't for mirrors, it's for storms. It repairs attention, clears anger, and makes your no calm. A man who trains on ugly days can sit across from beauty without begging. At work, ship before you talk. Begin with the task you least want. End with a visible deliverable. Attach identity to throughput, not applause. Write the memo others avoid. Ask for feedback that can bruise. Own misses publicly and fix them without theatre. Schedule deep work before meetings and inbox. Close the day by setting tomorrow's first verb on an index card. Then stop. Your evening belongs to recovery and connection, not vague wandering that steals sleep. Install solitude as a tool, not a mood. 10 minutes in the same chair, no phone, paper only. Ask, what am I avoiding? What standard slipped? What act would make me proud by noon? Do it before the world arrives. Add a weekly long walk alone. Thoughts become sentences. Sentences become choices. Choices become character. That loop survives pressure because it is anchored in reality, not reaction. Clear toxins that ruin the loop. Phones sleep outside the bedroom. Porn taxes your patience. Remove it. Junk food amplifies regret. Stop feeding it. Alcohol edits your standards. Give it rules or give it rest. This isn't moralizing. It's maintenance. You're guarding a day you might have to repeat forever. Protect it. If your job is chaos, create an island. 90 minutes of protected focus. Devices off. Door closed. Single target. Tell your team the window. Defend it. If travel wrecks training, pack bands and bodyweight plans. Nietzsche's demand is simple. Don't plead with fate. Build rails fate can't break. The loop you honor privately writes the face you wear publicly. Calm eyes, exact words, warm spine. Your worst days measure you more than your best. Under recurrence, your conflict style is the movie you rewatch forever. Choose one you respect. When tension hits, slow your breath, lower your voice, and speak the smallest true sentence. When plans changed without a heads up, I felt dismissed. I need earlier signals. Then listen. If repair arrives, deepen. If it doesn't, execute your exit with dignity. One clear line. Logistics handled once, no gossip, no grandstanding, no return visits to the same argument. Final, warm, brief. Breakups are a crucible. Grieve on schedule, 15 minutes in a chair, same hour, paper only. Then stand up and keep your rails. Block for a season. Return belongings in one exchange. Change passwords. Clean the room so your house stops narrating you. Do not recruit a jury. Do not post cryptic quotes. Do not DM a replacement to punish the past. Make a clean field so your life can grow again. Direct pain into rails that make you harder to move. Double your training minimum for a month. Add a creation hour. Call your brothers twice weekly. Serve somewhere that needs hands. Your nervous system learns that loss isn't licensed to collapse. It's a signal to build. If you failed, repair once without bargaining. Name the breach, state the change, accept the outcome. Then enshrine the lesson as a rule you can enforce tomorrow morning. Friedrich Nietzsche would call that loving your fate enough to use it. Protect reputations, including your own. Screenshots outlive moods. Speak about her like a future son might hear you. Speak about yourself like a man you'll see again. Under recurrence, the high from revenge lasts minutes. The face you must wear afterward lasts forever. Choose the face. Keep warmth. Don't become clever instead of kind. Hold doors. Tip well. Text your mother. Pray if you pray. A hard back with a soft front is rare. Be it. When love returns, it should find you busy, peaceful, and exacting. Already living the vows you expect from someone else. That is the warrior's exit. Not noise, but a life that grew sharper after the hit. Integration is where recurrence becomes relief. Build one honorable day and repeat it until it's your nature. Wake on purpose, train, ship, court slowly and speak cleanly. Repair fast or exit clean. Sleep like a man who spent himself on the right fights. That loop isn't aesthetic. It's armor you can wear without getting heavier. Nietzsche's point was never suffering for its own sake. It was discipline that gives your fate a shape you can carry. 3 rails hold the system. A start ritual you obey. A training minimum you hit. A creation block that ships. Layer 2 daily courtesies. A call to a brother and one message that moves a relationship forward or closes it kindly. Add a weekly ascent. A cold or heat edge. A small stage where nerve becomes skill. A longer solitude walk, a deliverable that scares you a little. The heroism is in the again. Guard against drift. Boredom will tempt you to burn down what works for a hit of new. Don't. Change weight, route, book, or task. Not your standard. Loneliness will whisper that the bar is too high. Host dinner, play ball. Serve where your hands matter. Contribution melts isolation better than chaos. Fatigue will sell shortcuts. Say no. Go to bed. Eternal recurrence is ruthless to shortcuts because they poison the loop. Keep the creed visible. Act only in ways I would accept on loop. Put it on the mirror and lock screen. Read it before dates, before you speak in anger, before you pour a drink you didn't plan. Your future self is watching from the end of time, asking for mercy. Give it. Give him a day he can live forever and not be ashamed. When setbacks return, and they will, you won't audition for courage. You'll follow the rails you laid when you were clear. Reviews, not ruminations. Each Sunday, ask where you kept your word, where you ducked, what you built, who you served, and what rule you sharpen for next week. Adjust one calendar line and close the book. That's how recurrence becomes relief. You stop fearing the loop because you love the day inside it. That is Nietzsche, lived. You made it to the end, now make it count. Drop your thoughts in the comments and like this video. Share this with a brother who needs a backbone more than a pep talk, And subscribe if you want the field manuals, clear drills, no fluff. Let today, repeated, be a day you respect.